this off. Welcome to...
Sorry, your mic.
Good evening. Please turn off your phones. Welcome to the July 17th, 2024 regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission. I'm Dee Bright, Chair. Commissioners present tonight are Maggie Haight, Frank Green, Susan Daniel. Debbie Davis is absent with notice. And we think Christine Santamore will be here, so we're waiting. But we do have a quorum for business. The Eureka Springs Historic Commission is empowered by Eureka Springs Municipal Code to issue a certificate of appropriateness for alterations of exterior architectural features, demolition and new construction within the boundaries of Eureka Springs Historic District. The HDC uses Eureka Springs Historic District guidelines and the U.S. Department of Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic buildings as the basis for our decision. The Commission can take the following actions on an application: approval with modifications, denial or deferral for more information. Appeal of denial may be made to the Circuit Court. Public comments will be heard on each agenda item as it is called. Each person may make one comment. Other public comments will be heard during the public comment period. Are there any changes or additions to tonight's agenda? And we do need to add two things. So if somebody could put on adding June 5th minutes when we approve minutes. And we are missing one commissioner for this commission, so we need to add that.
Adding June 5th minutes.
June 5th, and then to discuss commissioner.
Okay.
So if somebody would make that motion to put it on our agenda?
I make the motion that we put on the agenda the June 5th minutes reading and talking about a sixth commissioner.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0.
I do have one. Christine is at work and she will not be able to make it tonight.
Okay. Christine won't be here tonight, but we still have 4, so we have a quorum. May I have a motion to approve the entire agenda as presented?
So moved.
Maggie made the motion. Do I have a second?
I seconded.
Susan seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Approval of applications does not excuse applicants, owner, or agent from compliance with any other applicable codes, ordinances, or policies of the Eureka Springs, of the city of Eureka Springs. Okay, on our agenda tonight, old business, we have level 2, 42 Prospect, level 2, 110 Wall. New business, level 3, near 505 Spring. Okay. Our first one is 42 Prospect. Do we have somebody for 42 Prospect? Would you step up, Keith, and introduce yourself and give us your address, please?
I am Keith Scales. I should know how to do that. With Rebecca J. Becker, we co-owners of 42 Prospect. First, I hope everybody got the message of canceling the special meeting last Wednesday.
Yeah, we never had one. Do you want to do the summary of facts?
Yes.
Kyle?
Separate from the packets that I sent out last week, there's an amended staff report dated for today, and then the applicant has submitted a new design plan. Conversations that I had with the state office, Keith was involved as well. The state gave him 2 options to be able to keep the property as contributing to the historic district. Correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, I believe you went with returning to the Victorian look on the porch was your final design plan.
Yes, what Mr. Wilcox said was that there were two options. One was to replace the columns, which they're all destroyed now in any way. That would not further the rehabilitation of the building to its original design. The other was to remove not just the columns we had planned on removing, but all the stone, the wall and all the stone. That left a question because there's a large part of the wall below the street level which supports the porch. So I got back to Mr. Wilcox and he said, just cut it off at street level. And so what it would mean is that we would take the same design as is on the east side of the building, poles and railings, and run that around the front also, which we believe is what the original design was. And so, of course, we chose the second option. It kind of puts us, put me on the spot, really, because we were ready to take down a few columns and replace them with something else, but now it's a major demolition job. But we would like to proceed, and we've got everything figured out with our contractor and the financing for it and everything. We can go ahead and do that. And we'd like to start as soon as possible. And so if you know what the side, I think you have some pictures there, what the side looks like with the columns and fencing. That's what now the front will look like also.
So the paper, Keith, with the red dots, are you doing that one?
Yeah, that's to
This
show where the cutoff point is at the sidewalk level.
Okay.
So you're planning on taking all the stonework off?
That's Mr. Wilcox's recommendation.
Well, isn't this house contributing?
It is. Sorry, let me catch you
Yeah.
up. So the house is contributing to the historic district. The stonework on the front was part of the structure when it was put on the historic district nomination form, which Mr. Wilcox said that if we wanted to keep the property contributing, we could keep the stone as it was when it was put on the register, or we could take it back to what it would have been originally without the stone, and either one of those options would keep it contributing.
It will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you weren't here, Frank wasn't here last time to hear that this was a Victorian home originally, and the stone was added.
It's been modified?
Yeah, it'd been modified and everything, so it was not original to the structure at the beginning. So do you guys have any other questions of Keith, or?
On the modified staff report, I did update the sample motion to be correct, and I did change the staff's recommendation to approval for those modifications.
Do we have a rendering of what this house is going to look like when he's finished?
Well, just a moment before we go any farther. If somebody read the sample one so we can continue discussing.
All right. I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for the work proposed at 42 Prospect based on the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
Okay. Now to Frank's question, do we
Oh,
have?
sorry, can we get a second
Do
on
we
that?
have
Oh.
a rendering
Second.
Frank and Maggie, okay.
of what his house is going to look like when you're finished?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a rendering of what the house is going to look like when it's finished?
I'm sorry.
That'd be more like,
Speak into your mic.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, let me grab
Put your mic closer.
Yeah. Do you have a rendering of what the house will look like when it's finished?
Kyle does, he's getting it.
Oh, good.
So it's not really a drawing. So they want to match this roof line, but replace the stone with the columns here that are similar to the rest
Okay,
of
because it's already on the house.
Yeah.
Did you see this, Susan? See, this is the side of the house right there,
Right, that's the rear.
facing the crescent.
Yeah.
This is what they're going to keep the same roof line.
But they're gonna rule out all the stone.
Yeah.
And we have no pictures of it before.
We don't know. I think this is the earliest one that we have up in the front.
Eh, We still have it categorized as a Victorian?
Yes.
You keep that.
Thank you.
Does Maggie need to see it?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks.
And last time, Frank, when we were looking at this picture, Debbie kept, because this was not here, so if you look in there, see it's Victorian, which would have made it look more like, I call it the veranda next door, you know.
Yeah. It seems like they were trying to change the style of it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they were doing. We don't know.
It's a beautiful house.
You know, you can see it now. Now the battlements are down. And
bet.
what looked like just this little shady little cottage with a falling down roof is now exposed as quite a grand building. And I think, especially a year from now, by the time we've done everything, including all the paint jobs and the gardens, it'll be a worthy neighbor to the veranda and the Ellis house, as opposed to the tumble-down cottage that it used to be. Flintstone house, some people called it.
Does anybody have any other questions for Keith? Frank made the motion, Maggie seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Keith, for all your work and diligence on this and changing after we saw that it was really a Victorian. I think it's going to be great.
We think it's going to really be an upgrade to the neighborhood. I mean, we're all going to miss that sort of quirky
Yeah.
building, but so does this mean that we can start work tomorrow?
You may.
Thank you.
You can go start now.
I'm off. I'm gone. That piece of paper we've been looking.
Stay cool. At least the weather's going to be nicer for you now.
Now we're looking at a lot of thunderstorms, I'm afraid. But anyway, thank you all very much for your
Thank you.
assistance.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, next is 110 Wall Street. This is still old business.
Yes.
Okay, if you'll just introduce yourself and your address, and then Kyle will read our summary and everything. of
Okay,
facts.
my name's David Grossons. I live at 110 Wall Street.
So since we met last, I put in an inquiry into the state office asking for some information. Let me just read this memo that I sent out today to the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission from the Eureka Springs Department of Planning and Community Development regarding the status of the property located at 110 Wall Street in the Eureka Springs Historic District. After consultation with the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program, we discovered that previous records were incomplete. It has been clarified that the property in question is classified as non-contributing to the historic district due to significant alterations to its original structure. The records have been updated accordingly, and the staff report will be revised to reflect this change in status. So I have updated the staff report to reflect that it is non-contributing to the historic district. I have modified my recommendation for either denial of leaving it the way it is or approval with the modifications which Mr. Grossman has submitted, Groshans has submitted. On the third page, he met with the fire marshal. They came up with a plan to ensure that that structure was going to be fire resistant, and they would take the precautions to protect what is not a contributing but still a historic structure. And so he has modified his plan here on that third page.
Okay, can I have somebody read the sample motion? the sample
I move that
motion
the
real
Eureka
quick.
Springs Historic District Commission approve the application for a certificate of appropriateness at 110 Wall as proposed, and as amended, I guess, based on the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and before we go farther, is there any public comment on this?
He's a neighbor of mine. He's renting a house next door to me.
Okay, but I can't see him. Do you have a comment? Okay. I just want to make sure before we move on. Okay, questions? I mean,
It's a non-contributing structure.
yes, but the 12-foot structure was still 2 feet above what we had approved originally. And for the neighborhood, it was still kind of scale and mass and form number 1, if you read on
Do we have a
staff
site
here.
visit on this?
No, we just we each drove by and looked and everything,
Yeah, I
so.
drove by the other day, but I didn't want to go on his property.
Yeah, I didn't go on the
So I
property.
didn't really have a chance to look at it.
It's very visible from the road.
Yeah, very visible from the
is.
road,
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
No.
So, with the fire marshal and all, and Mr. Gross-Hans is willing to do what the fire marshal has done to
Exactly.
preserve all the properties there. I mean,
Yes.
I think, you know. Do you guys have any questions of it?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory why they did it.
Yeah.
The problem now is, are they going to correct it?
Yeah, that's what, and he's going to do what the fire marshal has recommended.
Okay, good.
That's what you're willing to do.
And I'll do the trim and
yeah.
everything else. I mean, I
'Cause
want it to look just like the house.
Frank wasn't here last time, so he's missed
Oh, okay,
part of the
I'm sorry.
conversation
Okay.
last time,
Gotta bring me
so.
up to speed.
Okay.
So, okay. Maggie made the motion, Suzanne made the second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I was so
We're just-
scared.
No, we're not. We try to work and help.
Yeah, I was worried about it for,
No, we just need everybody to realize that if something happens, since you're new to town, as you're progressing, if something should change, just call Kyle, and he'll either tell you what to do or
yeah, I
or
talked
you
to
can
Kyle
come back
quite
to
a bit,
us.
as a matter of fact. I
And he
really
did-
appreciate this.
he doesn't bite, does he?
No, he's a great guy. I really appreciate
He
him.
really is. So thank you for
Thank
being
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
understanding. Okay, now we're to new business. Level 3, near 505 Spring, Crescent Corp. Owner, Moyer applicant, demolition of garage. And Jack, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jack Moyer. I'm representing Elise Rennick and the Writers Colony, who will ultimately be the owner of this property. But right now, it's Crescent Properties, so Elise Rennick. This sort of temporary garage that's been around for a while literally has no roof. It is a serious hazard right now.
It's old, Jack. I think Edna Diley is the one who built that
Yeah.
garage.
It's not super well constructed.
goes way back.
But most recently,
I was
we
in
didn't
high
really recognize the level of concern that it presents because the facade is still there, but that's basically all that's there. And it's,
Let me
we've
have-
had the utilities removed from it, but it is a hazard if anybody's messing around down there.
Kyle, do you want to read the summary of facts?
Sure. So the garage structure was built about 1970. The house it was built with is contributing to the historic district. I did clarify with AHPP that removing this structure would not affect the contributing status of that structure. The neglect has resulted in significant deterioration, and being non-contributing, staff can recommend approval of this agenda item.
And can I have somebody read the sample motion, please?
I move that the Historic District Commission approve the application as proposed on Lot 25 near 505 Spring Street, based on the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions of Jack? Maggie made the motion, Suzanne seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jack.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. That was harmless, painless.
It's harder decisions than that one.
As I say, that was built when I was in high school, and that's a very long time ago.
Just giving you guys a little update on Norris Street. We're pretty close.
Oh, go to the mic.
Just to give you all a little update on the Norris Street project that is underway. We're about 30 days away. We're sanding floors right now. And that project is actually a project which we'll add back into as a contributing structure. So pretty exciting. We took that sleeping porch off and with AHPP and Kyle. So we'll go +1 as opposed to subtracting stuff. So
Thank
pretty
you.
exciting project there.
That
So,
is exciting
yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah,
to
it's
bring
been-
something back. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jack.
You bet. Thank you all.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, consent agenda. Level 1 and 2 projects that the city preservation officer believes to be in accordance with the design guidelines. Any commissioner or member of the public may move any consent agenda item to regular agenda for discussion. We have none. Administrative approvals by city historic preservation officer or minor impact projects include ordinary maintenance that does not involve a change in materials, new and replacement signs, alterations to non-contributing and/or non-historic structures, excluding major additions or demolition, medium impact projects that meet design guidelines. And these are level 1s and 2s, and they're on our website. Commissioner business, approval of minutes for, we'll start with June 5th. And we decided we were all here for June 5th. Do I have a motion to approve June 5th minutes?
I make a motion that we approve June 5th minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Frank made the motion, Maggie seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries 4-0. Now, July 3rd meeting, no, we can't because Frank wasn't here last week.
don't have
So we
quorum.
have to postpone July 3rd's vote till
To
next
the next
meeting. Okay, discussion of form, I'm going to move that to the bottom for a minute. Camp for October 3rd through the 4th, Hot Springs, we're just leaving that on. Nobody has anything to talk about yet. Okay. We put commissioner, we have a vacant seat. And we have 6 setting people, we need 7. And so we do have an empty seat on HDC. If anybody's interested, please call Kyle and discuss what it entails. Okay, our next meeting will be August 7th, 2024. Level 3 applications due Friday, July 25th. Level 2 applications due Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. Agenda setting for August 7th regular meeting. Does anybody have anything they want to put on the agenda? No? Okay, our forum discussion, Maggie, Kyle, Christine, and I are, and our mayor, is going to our forum, which we have every other year. And this is a national. So we leave on July 31st, and we need to talk about our flights. And that's what we're going to discuss, but I don't want to put our confirmation number, record number, because if you pulled up delta.com, then you could put it in and everybody look at it. So I will let you guys know that number privately.
And can I also just give an
Yes.
update? So, Smitty at Public Transit, I've set up with him. He will pick us up here in the parking lot, 4:30 on the 31st, and then he will pick us up from the airport on that Sunday.
Here or at Transit? I read the deal as saying Transit.
Oh, Transit. Okay, let's meet at Transit. Sorry. Yeah.
Is that okay? Sure. Whatever you guys, we still have basically 2 weeks. We'll figure that out,
Yeah.
where we're going to be. But we're so glad Smitty's going to take us, because somebody has to take us at 4:30 in the morning.
Darcy, that means I get that hour of sleep.
Yeah, you get to sleep.
So y'all be-
4:30.
y'all be quiet.
We have to be at the airport at 6 a.m. And so we have to leave at 4:30. So, yeah.
I'd just go spend the night over there.
I would spend the night.
Okay, public comments, we have nobody out here. Commissioner comments, Maggie? Suzanne?
Nada.
Frank?
No,
I don't have anything.
I take that back. I'm looking forward to the forum.
Well, I am too. I mean,
Yeah, very
I
much
think
so.
we're going to learn, it's been 6 years. I'm trying to count back. I think it's been 6 years since Kyle went 2 years ago, but none of the rest of us, you've never been. I don't know.
Judy and
Suzanne's new to us and Frank, but they're going to go to Hot Springs. I like our forum because it isn't every year.
have you been to Hot Springs, Maggie?
No.
So,
You'll like it, it's a fun little city.
I mean, I've been to Hot Springs, but not with the district.
so hopefully we can bring home a lot of things and share with the whole commission. I mean, we don't just go and don't tell everybody what we learn. Director comments.
First, just to touch on Jack's Norris project, he did invite me to come over and check it out. He did an amazing job. I'd recommend you drive by. It looks like a completely different building. And it is exciting that he'll be bringing that property back to contributing status in the
I'm
historic
sorry,
district.
where is Norris?
About the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, as always, thank you, everybody, for your willingness to do this.
And do I have an adjournment?
No, I do. Let's back up to Commissioner's comments here for a second. I've had several people ask me about that house that caught on fire across from the Rosalie, and they're not doing anything with that. Do you know anything about that, Kyle?
That's the one on Spring Street, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I have been talking to the contractor. He's been working with the insurance company. They're finally getting everything, I think, sorted out. He is in the process of working on the demolition application. Slowly, but yes, making progress.
Are they planning on completely removing that structure?
The way I understand it, yes.
The house is totaled?
That's the way I understand it, yeah.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it's a mess for sure.
Okay, any other discussions? Adjournment.
That's Frankie's job.
A second.
Maggie made the motion, Frankie seconded. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, aye. Any nays? Carries 4-0. Thanks, guys.